you discuss in the book how parameter count gives a rough sense of the model's complexity and sometimes even its capabilities. And so you gave kind of an exception that proves the rule, maybe in some ways there, where with a autoencoding model, you can get away with having far fewer parameters. And if you're not going to be doing a generative task, it can work really well for you. But let's say we're looking just at autoregressive models, at generative models within that class, your Claudes, your GPTs, what have you, and kind of the llama family gives us a really good sense. We have so many different llama models to choose from. How can somebody go about guessing what kind of parameter count they need, what they should start with for a given task?
That's really the question of our time, John. It's really difficult because it's even if you stick in the same family. I actually like to think of Qwen as a good family for this. Qwen is a family of Chinese models from Alibaba, I believe. They have a much wider range even than Llama. They start at 500 million, I mean like 600 million parameters, and they go all the way up to I'm going to Google this in real time because I'm curious.
I can confirm that it's Alibaba. Well, you do
okay,
that.
Good. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure. Over 1 trillion. So they go from 500 million to over 1 trillion. So that's a huge spectrum. GPT is over 1 trillion for perspective's sake. So over 1 trillion is GPT level, Claude level.
Yeah, like GPT-5 level.
Yeah, like Opus level of size. Kimi is probably another one up there in terms of open weight models that is on par parameter-wise and performance-wise. So when you think about the spectrum, you think, okay, bigger is better, right? Kinda. Bigger means more generalized, usually, meaning when OpenAI makes a model, they need a model that's going to work for me in San Francisco and someone who speaks only Turkish in Istanbul and has different needs and wants throughout the day. So they need to think about that. So big doesn't always mean it's better at everything. It just means it can do more horizontal things, even if they're things you don't need it to do. So when you're considering a parameter count, usually I think about it in terms of, again, quote unquote, small, which is anything less than, call it 10 billion parameters. I call it small because reasonably on a machine with no GPU, like my laptop with a CPU, I can reasonably run a compressed version of a model less than 10 billion parameters on a CPU. It's not going to be very performant, but it will technically work. Between 10 and 100 is kind of where you have your medium size. And arguably, you would break that down even more. That's where you're going to get more into your agents. An agent with less than 10 billion parameters, you can get away with things like looking things up, document retrieval, RAG, or web search. And you're not really going to get away with a lot of long horizon tasks, meaning tasks that require several tool calls, several turns of a conversation. In that medium range, 10 to 100, you can, especially if you're going to fine tune it with your task specific data. It's very, very likely going to be the case. When you need enterprise-wide adoption, you need something that can handle multiple languages, multiple tasks, easy and hard. Usually you're in the large category, 100 billion plus, both open and closed source. And again, that's rough.
That was great. That's the clearest kind of definition. I've never actually even heard anybody try to attempt so clearly how you can be trying to make some kind of rough finger in the air decision, a t-shirt size decision on what kind of model you should be going with. So that is very helpful. Thank you for that.
I hope so. And again, it's all an experiment. That's kind of the fun part in a lot of the book is chapter 3, I think, is literally called experimentation. The point of these is this is the fun part. This is the part where you get to try 500 million parameters versus 8 billion parameters and prove that one is much better than the other. Putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. And for me, that's a lot of the fun part.